What's up, everybody? Welcome back. It's Wiz here. So, today I want to talk about something that changed the way I trade and massively improved my consistency, and this is journaling trades. If you're not journaling your trades, you're leaving some serious growth on the table. I'm not even lying. So, in this video, to break down why journaling is essential, what exactly you should be journaling as a trader, and how this one habit can help you level up faster than anything else. So, let's get right into it. Why does it matter? It's not about tracking your wins and losses, it's about learning from every trade. First, it builds self awareness. You're going to start to see your own emotional patterns, like when you overtrade, where you hesitate, or cut winners too early when you could have let them run. Second, it gives you data driven improvement. You're not just trading and forgetting, you're reviewing, refining, and most importantly, growing. It also creates accountability, so you stop making impulsive decisions because you know you'll have to write it down. And over time, it also builds confidence. So when you're going to look back at see your progress, it reinforces that you're on the right path, even though you might have taken an L. And lastly, it also helps you spot recurring patterns in both the market and, most importantly, your behavior, which is what real edge is made out of. What I want to talk about next is what to journal. Now, this is the most important part of the video, so listen up. Before I trade, pre-trading, I always write down the date, time, and the pair. Then the setup type, what happened, if a price reacted off an order block, what supply demand was mitigated, etc., etc. It doesn't have to be smart money concepts. I know everybody trades a little bit differently, but it's good to analyze what setup that you took and how you can name that setup. Furthermore, confluences, in my case, once again, liquidity, imbalance, where did price went ahead, where did price want to move next. Then higher time frame and lower time frame bias, very important. Then where you're going to want to put your entry, your stop loss, and the TP you have planned. And once again, most importantly, your mental and emotional state before the trade. How are you feeling? Like, really go in depth. How you're feeling. Is your heart starting to race when you know that you're gonna open the trade? Do you have some kind of fear of missing out or whatever? Really try and analyze yourself. Look deep inside of your own mind. It's you versus the brain, all right? You have to understand this. During the trade, it is very important to analyze your thoughts in real time once again. What am I thinking? How am I acting? How do I feel? Etc., etc. Then also write down the market conditions, how price actually started moving, what happened, did it, fluctuate, did it do a retracement and then started to push up, whatever. If there are some news or events happening at that current time, write them down as well. Very important, because news can sometimes, well, most of the time, influence the trade, the outcome of the trade. And once again, I can't stress this enough, your emotions, temptations. Do you want to close the trade out early? Do you feel like, oh, now I'm a little bit in profit, so I'm going to close out the trade? Write every single thing down. This will help you build your better self. And after the trade, you have to write down your result. Was it a win? Was it a loss? How many pips you made? What was the risk to reward? Or what percentage of your account you made or lost? Then you have to evaluate if it was even a good setup. Did you follow your plan? And what mistakes did you make? And also, what did you learn? And let me tell you, even if you think you didn't learn anything, you most probably did learn something. So dig deep and try to find something that you learned, because that's how you grow. And lastly, if you're journaling on the website or on the internet, such as Notion or whatever, screenshot it and post the trade there. So when you look back, you can see how it went. When I'm talking about the tools, some tools you can work, well, as I said, a Notion notebook, I think it's called, on the internet. You can search and find it. There's multiple templates for traders for free. I'm gonna upload one. If you want, just hit me up. I can send you one, no problem. Google Sheets, I guess that works as well fine. And if you want to be a little bit old school, you can write it down in a notebook. But in my opinion, what works for me is I write down everything in the notebook, and then after the trade, after everything, I copy that into the Notion, into my Notion. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there's some other tools. I know that my FX book helps you automate some of this, but you pay something around $5 per month for you to see how the account is doing, overall, how many percentage you made. It's not a bad thing. I use it actually on my own. I think it's $3 or $5 or $8 per month, something like that. Not that expensive, really. And then when you open it up, connect it to your account, you see real-time feed, how much you made, how many pips, etc., etc. So if you're not sure really from the trading view or from your MetaTrader, just get this. That's what I'm probably gonna say. And let's move on further on. What is the impact of all this? Well, listen, you're gonna grow faster because you're learning from your own mistakes and wins. And that's the most important part in trading that most people really overlook. A lot of people just journal simply saying win or loss. Bullshit, that's it. How is that going to help you learn? How is that going to help you elevate? It won't. You have to really go deep into the system. You're going to also start spotting high probability setups you didn't even realize were repeating, You're going to refine your strategy more easier because setups, they reoccur. They happen again and again. Even though it doesn't seem like it, price likes to move in some cycles and you can find your edge in them. Furthermore, it also eliminates emotional bias, and this is the most important thing in trading because you're seeing it in black and white. You're not looking at what you're feeling, and even as a trader, you shouldn't even be looking at what you're feeling. You don't give a, you shouldn't care. It's only about what you see and how you execute. Your feelings should be left on the table somewhere else. Your feelings should be left in a lock that shit somewhere else. Don't listen to your feelings. Your feelings are not going to help you in trading. And over time, you're going to become more systematic, a more professional trader. You're not just going to be someone chasing candles, but you're going to be someone who knows what he wants, who knows how to accelerate in his life. And this is not only in trading, this is outside of trading, Control your emotions. Write everything down. See what is recurring. See a pattern in these things. And I wrote down that it prepares you for funded accounts. I mean, sure, definitely does. Because you should only trade funded accounts when you know you're going to pass them. Because otherwise, you're going to be spending, hundreds of dollars on challenges that you're going to then fail. And again, and again, and again, and again. And nothing's going to change. All right? Journaling is the thing that's going to change you. Moving on, my experience, all right? I'm going to also read you from my trading book, from my old trading book, how I used to, I still do this, but some of my old journaling, I'm going to read you that. But first, let me talk about this. I did this mistake, and I didn't even know that was bad. I thought that journaling is only, all right, I'm going to remember if I took an L or if I did a win. That's it. I wrote it down, how many pips I made, what profit I made, risk to reward, how much it was. Alright, yeah, sure, I wrote down what session I took the trade in, but that doesn't really help anything. Because once I added the mindset and confluence tracking, I saw real growth. Once I started to evaluate on my feelings and my emotions in the trade, that's when I really saw growth. Yeah. Most profitable traders weren't random, they followed some pattern. And I only noticed these patterns once I started journaling. And that's how you become a pro. And let's just reevaluate on everything I said so you better understand. Start your trade journal. I'm going to give you a valid point. Buy yourself a book and start writing everything down. Everything. So, once again, I wrote down my date, my pair, time when I entered, and the result after I knew what happened. And before I entered, or as I entered, I write every little detail down. So let me read it. I was feeling, I was telling myself I will enter off the lower time frame confirmation. Boom. When price hit into the 2-hour order block, I entered. FOMO. I shouldn't have. And my brain made the click. I entered straight, which is bad. And since FOMO, brain didn't think there will be a lower time frame confirmation, thus I entered. Wrong. Now I will probably hit SL, which could have been easily not even taken if I would have waited for the lower time frame confirmation, because the lower time frame confirmation wouldn't maybe even come. Thus, I wouldn't even take a trade, not even an SL. Not a bad trade, you get me? But it is what it is. It's still going to see, blah, blah, blah. Feelings. Impulsive entry. FOMO. FOMO in when price tapped OB. Wrong. I need to wait for lower time frame confirmation. But yeah, we learn from mistakes. Money will come either way. Also, when price reached order block, my heart started pumping and anxiety kicked in. So need to control that next time and stick to the plan. And then I also wrote down end of the trade. Well, so I held through the lows, turned around and got me in profit. But what I have noticed is I also have trouble with holding the position. Like either I'm setting my TPs too high and I shouldn't, and I should find better placement for these take profits, or it's psychology. As I see profit, sorry, I can't read this shit. As I see profit, I want to close positions. So I need to learn to control my emotions and hold, because I closed at 1%, but I could have been at 1.5%. Additionally, I need to blah blah blah. You get the point. I write down every single thing, how I feel, if my heart is starting to beat, every little small detail, and trust the process. It is going to work, all right? It's not going to work in a week, not in 2, not in 3 weeks, might not even work in 2 months. But look, if you stick to this, you're definitely going to see some progress. As I saw, as I have just now read, this old journal is full of trades. And now, I'm not even feeling these things anymore. I don't have fear of missing out, because I saw a pattern in myself, saw these bad things I was doing, and I learned on them. And that's what you have to do as well if you want to become a better trader. So my advice is, don't journal just to check a box. You have to journal to learn. And if you do this consistently, your strategy, or whatever people call it, edge, you're gonna get better. Not because you're guessing less, but because you understand yourself more. And that's what trading is all about. It's about you. The chart's gonna do whatever it wants to do, but you have to learn yourself throughoutly, not just in trading, but in life overall, in general. If you found this helpful, let me know in the comments and tell me, how do you journal your trades? Are you doing this, or are you still on the start? And if you're on the start, nothing bad about it, because now at least you know how to level up. And as I said, if you want the template for Notion, just hit me up. I have one ready. It's ready. I'm going to give it to you. No worries, no problem. So guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it helped at least a little bit. If you have any questions, hit me up on the DMs, in Telegram, wherever you got my contact. I am here for you. I'm gonna answer. I'm gonna help you out. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.